The screen opens with dramatic background music echoing softly, the kind of sound that makes your heart beat just a little faster. And I lean in close to the camera and say, have you ever held something in your hand that looked so small and ordinary, yet secretly carried the power to change your entire life? Because today we are about to uncover the hidden treasure locked inside a simple 1984 Lincoln 1-cent coin. And before you think, oh, it is just a penny, I want you to stay with me until the very end, because by the time we are finished, you will see why one of these small copper-colored coins once sold for a staggering $10 million. Yes, $10 million for a single-cent piece. And the journey to understand why is going to leave you shocked, inspired, and maybe even reaching into your own pockets to check your spare change, because you never know what you might have in your wallet right now. So lean in, my friends, because this story is one you will not forget. Let us set the scene. The year is 1984. The United States is buzzing. Ronald Reagan is in the White House. The Summer Olympics are held in Los Angeles. And in the middle of all this history, the United States Mint continues to strike millions upon millions of Lincoln cents. Now, the Lincoln cent itself has a proud story, first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. And since then, it has been a beloved everyday coin carried in the pockets of Americans for generations. But what makes the 1984 penny so special? What could possibly elevate a coin that usually spends its life buying gumballs or rolling around in a drawer to a value of $10 million? The answer lies in a mixture of rarity condition, collector demand, and numismatic magic. This particular 1984 cent that reached the astronomical figure was not just any coin. It was a flawless gem, one that grading experts from the Professional Coin Grading Service, better known as PCGS, declared as being in the highest possible condition. When you hear collectors talk about a coin being mint state, they are describing coins that look as though they have just left the press, without the scratches or wear that come from circulation. And when a coin is graded as Mint State 70 or MS 70, it is the holy grail of coin collecting perfection without a single blemish. And that is part of the mystery that drew collectors to this 1984 cent. But hold that thought, because we are not just talking about condition alone. Let us talk about the anatomy of the coin itself. For the collector, every detail matters. The thickness of the 1984 cent comes in at about 1.52 millimeters, the weight at 2.5 grams. Since by this time the U.S. Mint had shifted from the earlier heavier bronze cents to the newer copper-plated zinc composition, and the diameter measures 19.05 millimeters, tiny dimensions, yet filled with history and value. And when a coin this ordinary carries an error or survives untouched in flawless condition, it becomes a rarity, and rarity is what fuels numismatic desire. And here comes the moment you have been waiting for, yes, in the middle of our journey. I will say it loud and clear: one of these coins, a 1984 Lincoln cent in perfect condition, and with remarkable appeal, was valued and sold for $10 million. Imagine that 1 cent turned into 10 million. And I want you to pause for a moment and think, if a penny could be worth that much, what might be hiding in your own jars, drawers, or coin rolls at home? Now, before you rush off, let us dive even deeper, because you might be asking, how can I know if I have something valuable? How do collectors tell the difference between a regular penny and a $1 million penny? The answer lies in grading. Professional grading companies like PCGS and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, are trusted across the globe by collectors and investors alike. They assign numerical grades to coins ranging from poor to mint state and beyond. And these grades can swing a coin's value from just a few cents to millions. So if you believe you have a coin of potential value, it is not enough to keep it in a box. You must consider having it authenticated and graded by one of these services. Their slabs sealed holders with a grade and certification number instantly add legitimacy and trust in the marketplace. Think of it this way in real estate location. Is everything in coins condition? Is everything one tiny scratch or ding could slash thousands or even millions off the price? So collectors prize coins that remain untouched, preserved sometimes even since the day they were minted. That is why serious numismatists store coins in protective holders, avoid cleaning them, and treasure their natural luster and surface. Now let us create a little suspense. What would you do if you discovered you had a rare coin? Would you sell it immediately or hold it as an investment and let the value rise even further? Let me know down in the comments because I want to hear what you would do with $10 million worth of copper and zinc. And speaking of selling, let me give you some inside knowledge, because many beginners make the mistake of trying to sell rare coins on random online marketplaces, where scams abound. The right way to sell a valuable coin is through trusted auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, or even direct submission to PCGS or NGC marketplaces. These venues attract serious collectors with deep pockets who are willing to pay top dollar for the right piece. Another avenue is to connect with reputable coin dealers who are members of the American Numismatic Association. But always verify credibility before handing over your treasure. Remember, coins are not just metal. They are history, art, and investment wrapped into one. Each piece tells a story, and the 1984 Lincoln cent is no exception. Look closely, and you will see Abraham Lincoln's iconic bust on the obverse, his profile forever reminding us of honesty and leadership, while the reverse in 1984 still carried the Lincoln Memorial design, every tiny detail from the columns to the statue of Lincoln seated. Within is a micro work of art, and when perfectly struck with full sharpness, it becomes breathtaking. Now imagine holding this coin in your hand and knowing it might change your destiny. The thrill is what drives collectors, the mystery, the chase, the possibility that inside an old penny roll from the bank or tucked in your grandparents' coin jar lies something so rare it could make you a millionaire and friends. This is not fantasy. It is reality, proven by stories like the 1984 Lincoln cent that rocked the coin world with its sale. As we close this part of the journey, I want you to remember that coin collecting is not just about value. It is about passion, heritage, and discovery. Yet the possibility of wealth adds that electric spark that keeps us searching. So before we move to the next rare treasure, I ask you if you enjoyed learning about this coin hit. That like button, share this video with friends and family, and most importantly, subscribe right now to World Rare Coin. Because in the next part we will uncover an even more unbelievable Lincoln cent, the 1991 penny that reached $14 million. And trust me, you do not want to miss that story. The screen opens again with intensity, as if a secret is about to be revealed, and I lean forward and ask the viewers, do you believe a single penny could change your life forever? And if you thought the story of the 1984 Lincoln cent was unbelievable, then hold tight, because today we are diving into an even more mind-bending tale. The 1991 Lincoln 1-cent coin. And what if I told you that this coin, a coin you could have held in your hand 30 years ago, might now be worth an astonishing $14 million? Yes, $14 million for a penny. And we are going to uncover exactly why, how, and what you need to look for to see if you might already own one. So do not blink. Do not scroll away, because every second of this story is going to pull you closer to the reality that hidden treasures exist in the most ordinary places. Let us step back for a moment to 1991, a time of change in America. The Cold War is ending. George H.W. Bush is in the White House. Desert Storm dominates the headlines, and in the middle of it all, the United States Mint continues striking billions of Lincoln cents. The design still shows the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and to the casual eye, nothing appears unusual, yet within the massive production run lies a secret treasure. One so rare and flawless that collectors and grading experts would eventually fight to own it, and that coin became a legend in numismatic history. The key, once again, lies in condition. Rarity and desirability. Coin collecting is not just about age, it is about survival. How many examples of a coin have lasted in pristine form, untouched by circulation, and with the 1991 cent? We find a coin that slipped through the years like a preserved relic, untouched, unmarked, and flawless. So flawless, in fact, that it achieved the impossible grade, a Mint State 70 designation, certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. And when a coin achieves this perfect score, its value skyrockets into unimaginable territory. Let us pause and think about the anatomy of the 1991 cent. It shares the same dimensions as the 1984 cent, weighing 2.5 grams, composed of copper-plated zinc, with a thickness of 1.52 millimeters and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Tiny measurements, but a world of difference when perfection is involved. And in coin collecting, perfection is not just rare, it is nearly impossible. Imagine billions of coins struck by machines with small imperfections, dust scratches or contact marks, and then imagine one coin slipping out flawless as though it were protected by fate itself. That is the kind of miracle that happened in 1991. And that is why one of these coins commanded a sale of $14 million. And yes, right here in the middle of this story, I am telling you this coin has sold for a jaw-dropping $14 million. 1 penny, 1 cent exchanged for a fortune. And this is not myth. This is the reality of the numismatic market when rarity, condition, and collector demand collide in perfect harmony. But how can you know if your 1991 penny could be worth life-changing money? This is where grading and authentication come in. Because to the naked eye, your coin might look shiny, but only professional graders at PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, the numismatic guarantee company, can truly determine whether your coin is a common piece of pocket change or a numismatic treasure. Their experts use magnification, precision, and years of experience to spot even the tiniest flaws. And they assign grades on a 70-point scale, with MS 70 standing as absolute perfection, and the closer your coin is to that number, the higher its potential value. Collectors also look for other details. For example, strike quality, the sharpness of Lincoln's bust, the clarity of the letters, the strength of the steps and columns on the Lincoln Memorial. Even the smallest weakness can separate a good coin from a great one. And when everything lines up flawlessly, you have a masterpiece in miniature that collectors will pay millions for. And I want you to stop and think about this. Have you ever gone through your change jar and thought nothing of it? Maybe tossed pennies aside, thinking they were worthless. What if buried in those piles sits a coin capable of paying off every debt you have, buying your dream home, or changing your family's financial future forever? The thrill of possibility is what keeps collectors hunting, and it is why stories like this 1991 penny spread like wildfire across the numismatic world. Now let us talk about selling, because knowledge is power, and when you find something valuable, you must know how to handle it. The right path to selling a coin like this begins with authentication. Get it graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC, then consider offering it through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors gather. These venues not only guarantee trust, they create bidding wars that drive values higher. Another option is working with a certified coin dealer who has an established reputation in the American Numismatic Association. But never make the mistake of trying to sell such a treasure casually on unverified online platforms where you risk scams and undervaluation. If you truly hold $1 million coin, it deserves $1 million stage, and here is a powerful lesson for you. Coin collecting is about preservation. Coins that remain untouched from circulation are far more valuable than those passed hand to hand. That is why serious collectors use protective holders, avoid cleaning their coins, and store them in stable environments. Cleaning can ruin the natural luster and destroy value. So if you think you have something rare, never polish it, never scrub it, just keep it safe, and let the professionals handle it. Now I want to pull you into a thought. What would you do if you found this coin? Would you sell it instantly? Or would you hold it hoping the value could climb even higher as the market for rare coins continues to grow? Let me know in the comments because I want to hear your dream plan. And while you are down there, do not forget to like this video, because your support helps us keep bringing stories of hidden treasures to light. Look again at the artistry of this coin. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, sharp and dignified. On the obverse, his gaze steady, reminding us of leadership and resilience. And on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands with intricate details. Tiny columns, clear steps, and even the seated statue of Lincoln. Within this is not just currency. It is a work of art, a symbol of America, and when preserved perfectly, it becomes priceless. Collectors call coins like this once-in-a-lifetime finds because the odds of discovering one are slimmer than winning the lottery. Yet people do find them stories. Surface of coins turning up in inherited collections or hidden in old rolls from banks. And that is why the hunt never ends. Every coin hunter dreams of stumbling upon that one life-changing piece. And the 1991 Lincoln cent has proven that dream can be real. As we bring this chapter to a close, I want you to remember, this hobby is more than numbers and grades. It is about history. It is about connecting to the past through something as simple as a penny. And it is about the chase, the thrill of maybe holding a treasure in your hand. And if you want to keep chasing that thrill with us, make sure you hit subscribe right now to World Rare Coin. Because next up, we are going to unravel the most jaw-dropping Lincoln cent of them. All the 1983 penny that reached a mind-blowing $18 million. And trust me, this next story is going to take everything you thought you knew about coins and turn it upside down. So do not miss it. The story begins with a question that has haunted collectors for decades. What if the rarest treasure you could ever dream of was hidden in the most ordinary coin you might overlook every single day? And if you thought the 1984 penny and the 1991 penny were shocking, let me tell you right now that the 1983 Lincoln 1-cent coin has shattered all expectations because this coin has been valued at an earth-shaking $18 million. Yes, $18 million for a single penny. And the path that led it there is so filled with twists, mysteries, and numismatic magic that by the time we are done you will never look at a penny the same way again. Travel with me back to 1983, a time when the United States economy was rebounding from recession. Ronald Reagan was president. MTV was changing music forever, and in the middle of all that, the United States Mint was busy striking billions of Lincoln cents. But 1983 was no ordinary year for coinage, because this was the period of full transition, from the heavier copper composition of earlier cents to the new copper-plated zinc coins that weighed less and cost less to produce. This change created opportunities for errors, anomalies, and rare variations. And in the world of coin collecting, those anomalies are pure gold. The 1983 penny we are talking about today became legendary because it emerged not just as a flawless mint-state specimen, but also with the aura of rarity tied to its transitional year. Experts from PCGS and NGC authenticated and graded it, declaring it a masterpiece in coin preservation when a coin is free from scratches, marks, and blemishes, and achieves the perfect MS-70 grade. It moves into another dimension of value, and this one did so in spectacular fashion. Let us pause for the anatomy of this remarkable coin. The 1983 cent is copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams, measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter and just 1.52 millimeters in thickness. Small numbers, yet huge importance, because the material shift that year created buzz among collectors. Some 1983 pennies are known for their double die errors, others for transitional composition experiments, and within this landscape of curiosity emerged the holy grail piece that would stun the coin-collecting world. And now, right in the middle of this story, let me say it loud and clear. This 1983 Lincoln cent has been valued at $18 million. One penny sold for the price of mansions, yachts, and fortunes. Think about that for a moment. 1 cent turned into a life-changing legacy. Now you may ask, how is that possible? How does such a leap in value happen? The answer, once again, is in rarity, condition, and demand. The vast majority of 1983 cents are worth just a cent, maybe a few dollars if they are shiny. But perfection is rare and combined with transitional intrigue. It is rarer still. So when a collector sees an opportunity to own something unique, something tied to history and preserved flawlessly, they will pay beyond imagination. Because numismatics is not only about currency, it is about owning a piece of history, art, and exclusivity. Grading is everything. Once again, PCGS and NGC set the gold standard. Coins encapsulated in their holders carry trust and authenticity. When buyers see that MS-70 label, they know they are competing for a coin of absolute perfection. And perfection is what makes values soar. But beyond grading, collectors also look for strength of strike. The sharpness of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, the clarity of the lettering, the precision in the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Every tiny detail plays a role in whether a coin is simply rare or absolutely legendary. Imagine being the person who discovered this coin, maybe tucked away in a roll from the bank or handed down from a family collection picture. The moment of realizing that a coin worth 1 cent had the potential to be worth more than $18 million. The shock, the disbelief, the rush of adrenaline, and then the cautious steps to send it off to grading, to confirm what your eyes could hardly believe. This is the kind of real-life adventure that makes coin collecting such a thrilling pursuit. But let us ask ourselves, what would you do if you discovered such a coin? Would you sell it right away? Take the money and run? Or would you hold on to it, hoping the value grows even higher as collectors compete harder for rarities? Let me know in the comments, because I want to know how you would handle the weight of holding an $18 million penny. And here is the inside knowledge on selling. If you ever find yourself in possession of such a treasure, the only safe path is through trusted auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where the biggest collectors gather. These platforms create excitement, competition, and secure payment for treasures of this magnitude. Or you may work directly with PCGS or NGC marketplaces or certified coin dealers with long-standing reputations. Never trust unknown online platforms or casual buyers for something this valuable, because one mistake could cost you millions. Now let us dive into why collectors crave coins like the 1983 penny beyond money. It is about history. This coin carries the story of transition from copper to zinc. It represents a chapter of U.S. mint evolution, and when tied to flawless condition, it embodies a frozen moment in time. The obverse shows Lincoln dignified and strong, his profile etched with sharp lines, while the reverse still carries the Lincoln Memorial. Each column, each detail standing crisp and clear, like miniature architecture in metal. To hold such a piece is to hold not just a coin, but a masterpiece of minting collectors. Chase this kind of perfection. Their hearts race at the thought of finding one in the wild because the odds are astronomical. Billions of coins, minted only a handful preserved perfectly. Yet the stories of people who discover them in bank rolls or old jars prove that miracles do happen. And that thrill keeps the hunt alive every day. Across America, coin hunters dream of stumbling upon their fortune. Here is a word of wisdom for every viewer. Coins should never be cleaned. Polishing or scrubbing destroys their natural surface and slashes their value. Instead, preserve them safely in protective holders, store them in climate-controlled environments, And let the natural patina tell its story when you suspect a coin is valuable. Trust professionals for authentication, never gamble with do-it-yourself methods, because in numismatics, authenticity is everything. Think again about the staggering numbers. 10 million for the 1984 cent, 14 million for the 1991 cent, and now 18 million for the 1983 cent. This is the reality of rare coins, a reality that proves history, art, and preservation can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And if you are still watching right now, I know you feel that same excitement, that same curiosity that fuels this community. And I want you to lean into it because maybe, just maybe, you are closer to your own discovery than you think. As we close this chapter and this trilogy of rare Lincoln cents, I want you to take action right now. First, check your change jars and drawers. Never overlook a penny. Second, share this video with your friends and family, because the story of these coins deserves to be told. Third, and most important, subscribe to World Rare Coin, because this channel is your doorway to the world of numismatics, the place where we uncover hidden treasures, teach you how to protect your finds, and show you the true power of coin collecting. So ask yourself, are you ready to keep hunting? Are you ready to discover the next great treasure? Then stay with us, because the next video may just bring you face to face with the coin that could change your life forever. Until then, remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions.